I'm back. It's our day together once again. And, you know, it's a little warm out here, so I'm just wearing a t-shirt and nothing special. Nothing vintage, really. It's just got stuff I've been doing earlier, and now I have some time to come out and make a video for you guys. So, here we are. But, you know, I got something I want to unbox, but before that, just wanted to give a shout out to you guys for sticking around, making this channel what it is. And, you know, I appreciate you guys. I do. This has become a really fun thing for me, and I hope it's fun for you guys too. I've learned things. You know, of course, we're always going to learn things whenever we venture out to do something different than our normal activity. I've learned some editing skills because of this, because if you saw my very early videos, you would see that they're very crude and no polishing, nothing, you know. There was really no title cards either. No. So if you go back a couple of years, I mean even just a year and a half, you'll see a different format, well, the same me essentially. I haven't really changed. I'm still dad joke, slinging, pipe smoking Rob. But anyways, we are here for one reason, and that's for sharing our passions and interests in things of the past, and definitely tubular lanterns. So today I wanted to talk about, well, globes. Globes are kind of an important thing with these old lanterns. Of course, we all know that. Can't really burn a lantern without a globe. I mean, you can, but it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be as efficient or enjoyable as it would be with, you know, with a globe. But anyhow, there's definitely some specific things you should know about lantern globes, and especially antique lantern globes. Now, what I have here in this little box, I received from Madison Kirkman. So shout out to Madison. He had this for sale on eBay, and I kind of have to have that. It wasn't horribly expensive, no, but it's definitely something I could use. Yeah. And there's a little detail about this specific example that many people might overlook. Yeah. And I will show you the differences. I will show you the differences. Nicely packed. Now this is a proper job. See, wrap it all like this, box full of paper. You know, that really is kind of how you want to pack a globe. Some people double box them, which is great as well. That's always a nice added piece of insurance. Several years ago, I bought a real nice number 0 Buell globe. Yeah. A Buell number 0 tubular globe. Gorgeous. 1890s, easily that. But they didn't pack it very well. In their mind, they thought they packed it well, but it was loose. And I will say that when a globe is loose in a box, if someone kicks it, well, chances are it's going to be compromised. It's going to break. Yeah. So with that being said, that was unfortunate. And I got my money back, which was fine. It was inexpensive. It was like $20, which was very, very affordable. But of course, we lost an antique globe to time. And there are now less examples to be had, which happens when an antique breaks or is destroyed. There's one less in the world. I know, and there's already a dwindling number as it stands. So it is kind of it's a heartbreak for us collectors and people that appreciate these things. Largely the world doesn't care, but you know, it's what it is. But here we go. We have this, and this is a Dietz number 0 tubular, but it's a 98. So I'll show that to you so you can see that. See, it says Dietz, and it's arched. It says 98 number 0 tubular, New York, USA. Now 98. What's specifically interesting or unique about 98? Is it talking about 1998? No, because I remember 98. No one was making lantern globes like that in 1998. This is 1898. Duh. Anyways, we have some things to show. So let me go ahead and just bring some things down here. Man, not this stuff. I'm just moving it out of the way so we can discuss it. Because I have something, and it's within my reach. I just have to move it out of the way. Well, move them out of the way, I guess. But we'll talk about some things and show some examples. Yeah. Jeez. To get up off my rusty dusty here. Luckily, they're all mostly within reach. Yes. Now, globes. Let's focus on number O globes. Now, number O. What's that? What's the number O? Well, that's the traditional size of a tubular lantern globe. That became kind of the standard early on. And what's going on? Oh, are you guys bumping each other? I was hearing noises, and these things are swinging like crazy. Like, is your garage haunted? No, I just bumped them when I was moving stuff. That's all. It might be haunted. I don't know. Don't care to find out, really. Anyhow, number O globes, I guess you could say, essentially was one of the first standardized globes. Now, there were various heights. Prior to the 1890s, they were various in heights. They were just off. Different manufacturers had their own, contracts with different glass companies, and they made their lanterns and then ordered the glass to fit, but they were all generally kind of within the same range. It wasn't until the 90s, I would say probably early 90s, that they became standardized. I'm not 100% sure on the exact year, but I'd say early 90s, say 92, 93, right around there. Then they started standardizing the globes where they would be exact, especially with Dietz, where they all became the same size, and they were more or less universal for Dietz, SG&L, and whatever. But prior to that, they could vary a little bit, and some globes fit better in some frames than others. And for those who have some early tubulars from, say, the 70s or 80s, if you are so fortunate to have something of that era, you'll see that finding a globe that fits can be challenging if you didn't get one with a globe in it already. So, yeah. But here is a Dietz 98. Now, Dietz marked their globes 98 only in 1 year, and that was 1898. Why? Well, there was a big fire in 97 in their main plant in New York. So, since they already had 30 to 50% holdings with Steam Gauge and Lantern Company in Syracuse, they moved their operation to Syracuse with the Steam Gauge and Lantern Company facility, which is still standing. It's now the Dietz Lofts. Pretty interesting. But anyways, when they rebuilt their company, Dietz rebuilt their factory, was in 98. So that was kind of a rebirth. Hey, we're back, everybody. We survived a big fire. And that was a big thing. And I'll tell you what. There were many fires in the 19th century that took out several stamping companies. And sometimes if a fire happened and burned their factory down, that was pretty much it. They were not as well-heeled and established, say, as R.E. Dietz. R.E. Dietz was definitely a big, big company of that era. They were probably the last name in tubulars. Now, of course, there were a lot of regional, smaller stamping companies out there that made some really cool stuff that worked very well, very interesting, and a lot of it's highly collectible now. But some burned down, and that was it. And that they cashed in their chips. So, yeah, or they were consumed and bought out by Dietz, which did happen often, especially by the 1900s, and a lot of companies were starting to get away from either making tubulars or they stopped entirely or they sold out to Dietz. So, yeah, but anyways, this is a 98 globe, so this is very specific to 1898. This would fit into any Dietz Victor, Dietz Royal, or Dietz square tube lantern from 98. That's right. Some people have put them in slightly earlier models just because they look cool, and I don't blame them because I've done that. I actually have one of these globes in my Dietz crystal in the house, and it looks really cool. Now, there's a detail that maybe you haven't picked up on it yet, but I'll show you. here is a Dietz regular. It has the little sliding trap door on the globe plate, see? See that little guy there? You can light it. It doesn't have a lift. It's a floating globe plate. Has a little pin here to anchor the globe plate. Yeah, so it doesn't spin around, you know, as a fixed smoke bell. Now, this globe in this lantern is a 98 as well. Silence. But you see it's different. See, it's not arched. The Dietz is not arched. But it says the same thing, but it's not arched. Some of them are arched, some of them are like this. And they're not, and some of them have Dietz and 98 on either side, same line. It says Dietz 98. Some of them are Dietz with the 98 underneath, which I think is a nicer look. It's stacked, but some of them are different. Depends on the glass company. That's right, it really does. It depends on the manufacturer who they got their order from. But here's another fun thing. Oh, I guess it's got to be just dead on for it to go back in. Is that it? There it is. Okay. So this lantern is it's like, how do you know this lantern's from 98? Well, a lot of details indicate that it's right around from 98 or 99. Doesn't matter. But it's a proper fit. It's a fairly accurate guess because the shape of the fount, the construction of the soldered bottom, it doesn't have any bottom stamping, so it's right between 96 and 99, or 98 rather. I'd say 98 for sure. Anyway, I know these things. I'm Rayo Rob. Come on, don't question me. Anyway, we have another. Here it is. We have another Dietz lantern with another 98 globe. It's a Victor. I love this Victor, and this one's got a amethyst tint to it. Yeah, and I'll show you. This one, maybe you can see a little bit of the amethyst, but it's arched as well, and it's a nice strong strike or casting. It has a very nice embossed stamping on there, so it's very legible and it's very desirable because of that. And it's got the nice amethyst color to it, and it just looks really nice in a dark aged brown tubular frame. Now, this is 98, this is 98, and that's 98. But there are minor differences. That's right. Now I'm going to hold these two arch top 98s together, and you tell me what looks different. What's different about this one? And this one. Now, does one look a little bigger than the other? Don't they? Don't they look different a little bit? Just take a good look. Now, if you were to say that this one has a thicker lip up here, see, from the tapered here to where it starts tapering out, you'd be correct. This one is bigger. It's more generous. They're the same height. They're the exactly same height. But this one has a narrower reverse taper. Come on, there we go. So it's got a nice rim or a nice lip, flange, whatever you want to call it, but it's not nearly as big as this one. See? That one's bigger. Why did they do that? Like I said, depends on the manufacturer. If it was Corning or whatever, or Federal Glass, there's a lot of glass companies that some of them still are around today. Yeah, like Anchor Hawking, or was Hawking Glass, and then Anchor merged with Hawking. Anyways, lots. So that is very specific to 98. Now, there are other examples of these globes with the big fat lip that are not 98, that just say Dietz No.0 Tubular, New York, USA. There are. They're not as easy to find. Friend and subscriber, fellow lantern collector Michael Large has one of these, but it's marked SGNL. So Steam Gauge Lantern Company, you know. Gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful globe. It's got a nice, heavy, strong casting. So the text is really bold, and it has that nice, nice outer, flared out upper lip. So it's kind of a very beautiful globe, and I would love to find one myself like it. chances are not very likely. Likely. That's right. They're not very likely. Now, what was the regular Dietz globes? That was pretty much in standard lanterns from the 90s on. Well, this is it. Dietz No.0 Tubular, New York, USA. Now you see this is a standard upper lip, no big deal. I mean, it's still a beautiful globe, don't get me wrong. I left this one a little dirty because the side lift tubular it's in is it's got a neat patina to it. So I haven't fixed it. I haven't cleaned it. It just looks like this. I mean, it just looks really nice, in my opinion. In my humble opinion, it looks really nice. I like it. But yeah, side lift tubular. It's got bottom stamps going on. It's just a beauty. No rust, just a dark age patina. Yes. So with that being said, now you know a little bit about Dietz globes, right? I hope so. Now, you know, sometimes you'll find an early tubular like this. You'll find an early one like this with a single wire guard, right? Or even a slightly later one with the cross guards. Doesn't matter. But it will have a globe similar to this sometimes. I'll show you. Down here. Like this. Sometimes you'll find these beautiful early lanterns with a big globe like this. Now this is a cold blast globe. And these came out around 1900 or just a little after that. Early 1900s. Cold blast globes. Big, balloon, tall, pushing 7 inches. These are tall globes. Some of them are kind of the same height as the number O's, but mostly they're not. And they really only fit, ideally, in a cold blast lantern. So you like this guy, like the Marswells. See how that's a perfect fit? And they're designed for a wider, bigger flame, so they don't crack. And trust me, that can happen. So if you put a number O style globe in, say, a number 2 cold blast lantern, don't burn it too high because you can push the tolerances of that glass. Because when we are burning a flame, a flat wick flame in a tubular, you have a flame that's wide and knife, dagger, narrow, okay? And then it has points on either side, right? So you have 2 hot points. Hot points, that was an appliance brand. General Electric, I believe, yeah. Anyway, so you have 2 hot points on either side of the burner cone, here and here, okay? So most globes that will crack over here or over here, depending if you have a high spot on the flame. And if you're burning it higher than maybe you feel that you should or whatever. So, yeah, you got concentration of heat here and here. So don't burn your flames too high if you're just hanging outside and want some nice mood lighting. Don't burn your flames too high, especially if you have antique glass. And most collectors get a little crazy when people burn antique glass. And I can understand it because this globe is easily a $60 to $80 globe, depending, right? Right. So be mindful of that. Now, if it's an SG&L globe, 100 plus. 100 plus for an SG&L. Yes, that is kind of going rate. But anyways, yeah. So, that's kind of the rundown on number O globes. And you should find a number O style globe for any of your tubulars. That's right. For any of these old square tube hot blasts. Or for a hot blast in general, unless it's, after 1910, a Fitzall is fine. But definitely, for your 1880s, 90s, very early 1900 hot blast lanterns, you need one of these. Well, shaped like this. I mean, you can find unmarked globes. Sorry, Madison. He gets on my case for holding globes like that. I have to hold them behind the bottom rim. This is the ideal way to hold a glass globe. Anyways, as I was saying, this shape, essentially, is what you want for a hot blast lantern. We'll find sometimes hot blast lanterns with cold blast globes, but it's a poor fit. It looks kind of weird, and that's not what they were designed for. So you can find unmarked hot blast number O style globes on eBay all day long. All day long. Clear, sometimes colored, for $20 bucks, maybe 15, $20 bucks. Right around there. and you can get it, and it's antique, and it'll probably have waves and bubbles and imperfections, and it'll be cool, and you can burn it and not have to worry about destroying a marked globe if you're concerned about that. Anyway, just thought we'd do a little crash course on globe history and globe identification, so you can keep your eyes out and spot the cool ones, because sometimes you'll find a really nice globe in a very unassuming lantern. Some people have found SG&L globes or Buell globes, or even Defiance globes, which are even rarer. Defiance marked globes are hard to find, and sometimes they turn up in, say, a Streamline Monarch from the 50s, or a 20s Monarch, or just a Monarch or a Hilo, or something that's very easy to find, but sometimes you'll find a really cool piece of glass in it. So keep your eyes peeled. All right. Sorry, not burning anything today, not even having a pipe. It's starting to really get steamy out here. It is. So I got to go. I got stuff to do. I'm having some company over tonight, and I got to spruce up the house a little bit. So please excuse me. We're already over 21 minutes on this video, so I hope you enjoyed and learned something. Yeah, hope you learned something. And that's kind of the whole point about this channel and my continuation of the channel and the content therein. So please continue enjoying and leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I'm always open to maybe some suggestions of what maybe I should share or what you'd like maybe to see. I try to keep it interesting. So with that being said, take it easy. Have a great rest of your week and weekend. And I do have another video coming soon. I've already filmed it. I already shot it. But get ready for it. And I'm going to be showing you my methods of grilling and cowboy cookery in a very modest, humble sense of the word and whatnot. So stay tuned for a fun cooking video that will be coming up this weekend, I believe. So stick around. It's going to get fun. We're going to have some tasty things and continue enjoying these old lanterns. All right, guys, take it easy, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.